This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast, where we help women remove the overwhelm of living their most holistic life. This is the place to find evidence-based nutrition tactics, healthy lifestyle and wellness tips, abundance mindset, and easily implementable low-tox living strategies so you can rise up to your full potential and protect your family's health. I'm your host, Stacey Heine, certified holistic nutritionist and better living advocate. Now, let's get empowered with some simple swaps that make a big impact for optimal wellness. It's episode 14 of the Urban Pharmacy Podcast, and I'm coming at you today with a holistic life hack. You know, I was not here last Friday, so I'm really sorry, and I missed you, but I was out of town on a women's retreat for my brand coach, and her name is Steph Weber. If you have not followed her yet, you need to follow her. She owns the Weber Co., and she's incredible. And we were out in Arizona with a whole bunch of amazing entrepreneur women, and it was an epic time. We were all leveling up our life, and I suggest you do the same. Find community if you can, either virtually or in person, to step into your greatness, because we are made for more. All right, anyways, on today's episode, we're talking plants, literally like my favorite thing in the world. I believe plants heal on so many levels, hence the name, the Urban Pharmacy. But really today we're talking about actual plants that are in our environment. So what do I mean by that? I mean houseplants. I mean setting ourselves up for joy and feng shui in our house. And I want to talk to you about the scientific benefits of plants in your environment. So let's start right now. Here are some top tips. Okay, so did you know that real plants may actually sharpen your attention? This is not the plastic houseplants that I'm talking about. This is the real houseplants. And in a small study involving 23 participants, researchers put students in a classroom with either fake plants, real plants, or a photograph of a plant, or no plant at all. Brain scans of the participants showed that the students who studied with real live plants were actually more attentive and better able to concentrate than students in the other groups. Is that not mind-blowing or what? Yay, plants. Okay, let's go to the next one. So did you know that working with plants can actually be therapeutic? So for people experiencing symptoms of mental illness, indoor gardening can actually help. And researchers have shown that horticultural therapy, or getting, in the dirt and touching plants, actually increases the feelings of well-being among people with depression, anxiety, dementia, and other conditions. So make sure that you are using horticultural therapy if you are having any of these issues. So did you know that in England, doctors are actually now prescribing potted plants to patients that have anxiety and depression? Okay, that's powerful. All right, next one. Did you know that plants can actually help you recover from illness faster? This one was really interesting to me. So in a 2002 review of the research, it revealed that people recuperating from several kinds of surgery needed less pain medication and had shorter hospital stays than people who weren't looking at greenery during their recovery periods. Okay, seriously, wow. That is so good. And it is important to note that most research focuses on plants and natural scenery in hospital settings rather than at home. So, not to say that having a real live living plant, and if you're trying to heal within your home, isn't going to work, but the studies actually are just done within hospital settings. But I think that they could totally translate and transfer from hospital to home, if you know what I mean. All right, so the next thing is, did you know that indoor houseplants can actually reduce your stress levels? So a study published by the Journal of physiological anthropology found that plants in your home or office may actually help you feel more comfortable, soothed, and natural. In the study, participants were given 2 different tasks. They were repotting a houseplant or completing a short computer-based task. After each task, researchers measured the biological factors associated with stress, including heart rate and blood pressure. And we know that a high heart rate and a high blood pressure, those both are not good, right? So we want them to be low. And they found that the indoor gardening task lowered the stress response in participants. The computer task, on the other hand, caused a spike in heart rate and blood pressure, even though the study participants were young men well accustomed to this computerized work. So researchers concluded that working with plants could reduce both physiological and psychological stress. Amen. That's another notch for another houseplant. Yes, please. Check. I'm going to go and buy another one. Okay. So the next one, let's talk about the next benefit. Did you know that plants within your environment can actually boost your productivity? So, here we go. Multiple studies have found that plants in the workspace increase both productivity and your creativity. Everybody needs both of those, right? So one frequently cited study from 1996 found that students in a campus computer lab worked 12% faster and were less stressed when plants were placed nearby. And in a 2004 study, researchers challenged people to make creative word associations, and they performed better when there was a plant in the room with them. And then in 2007, there was a study that showed that people with more plants within their workspace took fewer sick days and were more productive on the job. Have I convinced you yet? You need houseplants. You need houseplants in every room if you can. Okay. All right. The next benefit of having houseplants is, did you know that plants may actually improve your whole outlook on work? So researchers interviewed over 440 Amazon employees in India and in the United States, and they found that those office environments that had natural elements, such as indoor plants, felt greater job satisfaction and more commitment to the organization than those who didn't have those elements within their work environment. And researchers said that the natural elements help to buffer the effects of job stress and anxiety, which we already have talked about. All right. Last but not least, let's talk about indoor air. So this is something that I teach within my Holistic Life Shift program, and just kind of helping to cleanse the air. If you don't know, we have a lot of pollutants in our air, in our indoor air especially. It's actually worse than your outdoor air. And plants can actually help that. So scientific support of phytoremediation, meaning that there's a plant within your environment, shows that plants can actually scrub contaminants from the air. And that all started with a NASA study back in the 1980s. And they show that, houseplants and specific varieties can actually help to kind of clear the airborne volatile organic compounds that could cause your health some issues. And here are some top plants that are really good at doing that. So Boston fern, a rubber tree, spider plants, ficus trees, and areca lady, dwarf date, and bamboo plants are also good for scrubbing the air. So what I want you to do today is go out and buy yourself some houseplants. They don't have to be big. They can be like the least maintenance of all. Just go and get yourself some plants so that you can start living a better and more holistic life. This is the end of today's Holistic Hack Friday. I hope you enjoyed it. And please message me, tag me when you listen to this, tag me when you buy houseplants, because honestly, guys, plants rule and plants make people happy. You'll hear me saying that more often than you think. All right, be well, and we'll see you on the next episode. I'm over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of The Urban Pharmacy. For today's show notes, head on over to theurbanpharmacy.com and be sure to join us inside our private Facebook group called The Urban Pharmacy, where we share inspiration, live trainings, and holistic living tips to help you build community, and the healthy lifestyle that you've always wanted. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and please consider leaving us a 5-star review. Before we connect again on the next show, follow me on Instagram at The Urban Pharmacy. That's urban with an H and pharmacy with an F. And I can't wait to hear your wellness journey as we get to know each other better. You know, there's truly no better time than now to level up your life, and I am so proud of you for showing up today. Until next time, be well, Health Crusader.